That's right, you've seen it. I'm putting a stereo in Subaru. And it don't even have a freaking name on the box. It's just car multimedia player. That's all it is. It's a 9-inch touchscreen. I'm going to have to look up the brand since it's not listed on here. Man, I got to run a backup camera. So in the box, some wiring harnesses, some brackets, and then your radio, which still doesn't even have a name on it. It's got a bullhead back here in the back. And let me look up the specs on this thing. Well, here's the manufacturer. Shashishing Futtenko Kinka Yanke Gongi Shi. I don't know, did that sound close? Something like that. OUSMIN is the brand. There'll be a link in the description. I'm assuming it's on Amazon. And hopefully a discount code at that. The OUSMIN OXE8 Pro. Yeah. So it's a double DIN unit, which that means it will fit a double DIN hole. OUSMIN, OUSMIN. 2-year warranty on it. They have their own website. It's OUSMIN.com. The radio itself on their website is $299. And it's a 9-inch touchscreen, 720p, Bluetooth 5.0, 40 watts per channel, 16-band equalizer, 2-core hardware, so it's not quite the fastest. It's, you know, as long as Android Auto works good, that's where I'm at. Okay. So anyways, before I go and start wiring this thing up and everything, let's tear the interior part on the Subaru. There's some aftermarket wiring in that thing, and I'm assuming somebody spliced into the harness in the back, but I'm hoping that they don't have the speakers wired that way, because my sound sometimes sounds weird, and I'm wondering if it isn't because they spliced into the harness. Maybe the wires are crossing, I don't know. It sometimes sounds good, sometimes it doesn't. It might just be the head unit, the stock head unit. First time I've seen this. Right from this stereo comes with barrel style connectors already on the harness here. I'm going to chop them off because I don't have those barrel type connectors to put on the harness itself. But yeah, there's a key 1 and a key 2, which is going to go to switch 1 and switch 2. So I'll still have steering wheel controls, which is great. This also comes with a decent looking backup camera. It doesn't have LEDs like lit, but maybe it just has good night vision or something. Guess we'll find out, because I'm going to have to wire this up. Oh, I just did a backup camera. They suck. They're nice to have. I wish I could just wire into the factory one. I don't know how to do it, so I'm just going to use this. So this is typically what you don't want to see when you get into your stereo wiring harness. A rat's nest that is already here with multiple colors, crimp connectors. What I do see though is I peeled the tape off of one completely, and the connections are soldered. So there's at least that. They put some sort of jumper, a longer feed here, for a reason that I don't know. There is a box down underneath here, and I don't know what it is. It looks like some sort of stereo output box. I'll show you right here. I don't know what this is. Rear and front, and everything's wired into that. And then there's speaker wires running off of that. So, I'm assuming, to see, here's what the only thing I've seen whenever I got into everything was this. And then this kind of worried me. And there are wires cut here. So, I don't know. What we're going to do, anyways, for the meantime, is just wire this stereo in, because the old stereo worked. So this is the Subaru wiring adapter I got. before we get too deep, we're just going to make sure that this plugs into, here we go, it'll be this one down here. I don't know, hold on. Well guys, I'm going to have to get back to you at a later date on this stereo because this doesn't fit any plug in there. This is great. I also got to redo some wiring. I did see one of them pulled out right here. So I'm going to redo these with solder connectors and take these off. But yeah, I'll get back to you at a later date and try to get this stereo in. But this is stuff that I just couldn't forecast I was going to run into. So, alright, so I figured it out. It's like a amplifier for the factory system. It's a piggyback. These plug into the stock harness, runs down to this amplifier down here, which runs back up and then plugs into the stereo. Right now I have completely disconnected. My speakers don't sound as good. So that's what it is. I just need to get the right harness and we should be all right. I'm going to use that amplifier and hook that stereo up, but I have to get the correct harness, so that's going to be at a later date. And I'll get right back to you when that happens. The correct harness is ordered. It comes with a steering wheel adapter. I think it was $100 for the wiring harness and the steering wheel control setup. And I think it will work with my stock backup camera. It looked like it would. Anyways, I just looked and I have like 2 other adapters like this. There were Subaru, Nissan. This says Subaru vehicle speed sensor. There's a Nissan one. Yeah, I have several of these, so I've ordered them incorrectly before. And you think you would learn your lesson. Maybe third time's a charm. A couple days later, guys, and I am back here in the garage. Ordered a wiring harness from Crutchfield for this car. Was $100. It was $99. But this thing came complete. It's going to use my factory backup camera. I'm going to be able to use my steering wheel controls. Everything was included in this. But it's a package. But, you know, the first problem was my own. Now, I was going to do an in-depth review on this radio. And you know how I am with my reviews. I'm going to tell you the truth, okay? The biggest gripe I have with these cheaper radios, okay, these cheap brand, now the radios work and everything, but my biggest gripe is they do not fit in a factory double DIN slot. I ordered the double DIN kit so that this would fit in there. Did not fit. I had to Dremel this installation kit out to the very edges just to get this thing to fit. And I mean, okay, let me show you. Hold on. These are pieces of plastic. I just used my grinding wheel and my die grinder here and just went to town. There's pieces all over the floor. But have it known, if you're gonna get an OUSMIN deck, one of these cheap stereos, you're gonna have to customize it and make it fit into your installation kit. Now, I got mine fit in there really, really nice, as you can see. But this is just going to clip into my dash because I couldn't fit the mounts back here because of the way this stereo is made. And I think they even say that you may have to custom fit it. That covers their butt if it doesn't fit, which it does not. Okay? But that's my biggest gripe on these. Now, if I would have bought an Atoto, okay, I really like those radios. And if I would have bought one of those, it would have fit in a double DIN slot, whether it was oversized or not. Here's another thing. This is a big thing here. I was highly surprised about. So this kit comes with the box so that you can use your steering wheel controls right here, this box. And that box comes with a like a headphone jack on the end of it for your steering wheel control as well. If your radio doesn't have that and it has a key 1 and key 2 switch, you're supposed to cut that off and splice those wires into the harness, which is what I did. the directions are very clear on this. Yes, I paid $100 for this harness, but I'm going to be able to use everything. And one thing that stood out to me was then they have the radio brands here and how to program the switch. That box has switches on it. The very first thing on this is a Toto. So the off-brand Toto is actually listed on this kit that I got from Crutchfield. Now, this one's not, obviously. You're not going to see OUSMIN or OSMIN or whatever it is on any of these things, but it does cover off-brand. It says off-brand. So I have the switch set to that, and it's set up, and all I got to do is I'm going to have to route this microphone. I'm doing this right now because when I put the stock stereo back in, I did not hook my HVAC controls back up. There's actually cables that go on doors in there, and I just thought about it today, and I'm like, well, it's going to be real easy to take out right now because I didn't hook those up, where you got to get up under the dash and take those wires off. So here's the wiring harness. Yes, it's a mess, but there's a plug for everything. The stock backup camera plugs in, and I should even be able to use my USB port, and then this is going to add an extra one. So let's go throw this in the car. I'm pretty sure I have it wired right. When I wire stuff like this, the speaker wires are normally the last thing I do. So I start with stuff that I'm less familiar with. So I made sure that the camera, the reverse wire was hooked up first. The plugs for the steering wheel controls. Then I did, all my grounds. There's a whole bunch of grounds. Make sure that they're all connected. And just get everything, plug in everything that you have marked on your installation kit through that wiring diagram and through the wiring diagram that comes with your stereo, which when you get these, they're there, but they're not always correct. So I'm going to hook this up first before I put my dash back together, just to make sure that it's going to work. But you see what I mean about the 9-inch? It was it's perfect. If I would have went with a 10-inch, it would have been covering my vents a little bit. So yeah, that's 9 inches is what you want in these stereos. Am I right, ladies? 9 inches? Okay, so far, I like the deck. The reverse camera works. It does say no signal for a second before it goes to the reverse camera. But that's decent quality. That's all the better you're going to get with an aftermarket camera. Really. Alright, so this is the next day. My current settings on my dip switches here is the only settings I can actually get any of the steering wheel controls to work with. But my volume and my track buttons, it won't read those. But it'll read my phone buttons, the mute button, and I think it'll read these two buttons, and it won't read these two buttons. So I'm going to do what any logical person would do and program these for volume and track. Yeah. But I'm going to go ahead and button this up, and then I'll get more into the radio. I messed with it yesterday, so I'm getting a little bit more familiar with it now. So as you can see, we got it in. Ran my USB out the bottom. Microphone is going to stick right here. So I did figure out how to get into the extra settings in this. So I did get the boot screen loaded. It's a cheesy looking Subaru emblem. There's a lot of glare on this thing. Well, at least on my camera, there's a lot of glare. But I will tell you, now see, it takes a little while to boot up. There we go. The screen resolution is actually really good. I will give them that. When you go into Android Auto, the screen resolution gets worse. So this has screen mirroring. It should have wireless Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. I have not tried that yet. So I'm going to try that right now. So it tells you to look in your wireless connections and connect to this. So I'm going to do that real quick. All right, so the key came up. We're going to pair, and we should have wireless Apple CarPlay. We are connected Bluetooth. All right, so it's not working. I do know the wired Android Auto works, and honestly, that's probably what I'm going to use because I always charge my phone while I'm driving. But yeah, as for the meantime, I cannot get the wireless Android Auto to work. So there, I just plugged in. I'll show you how long it takes. And there it is. See, the screen resolution is a lot worse when you're in Android Auto, but it still works. Now I can say personally, it does sound really good in here, but I have an amplifier in here that I didn't know I had. So that helps with the sound. So I don't know how this is going to sound in this car without an amplifier, but it sounds good with an amplifier hooked up. Alright, so first stumble. I'm trying to get this to do screen mirroring, and it went blank and restarted already. Is this something that you would want to spend your money on? That's what you got to question yourself. I'm going to get into extra settings on this. Go into the settings. Go the whole way down to factory. Hit that and ask for password. Almost all of these aftermarket radios, the password is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hit that. Here's your settings then. And here are a bunch of extra features on this radio. The logo is on there. That's where I went and chose my boot up screen. Mic mode. This is also where you set up your controls, like your steering wheel buttons. So I'm going to program those, the ones that do work. This is where you're going to do most of your settings in the radio. All right, I did get the screen mirroring to work. I had to change a setting in there for the plug-in controls. So let's see how this looks. Wow, a little bit hazy there for a second. Not near as clear. Let's pull an Unwrecked video up. So the frame rate's a little bit lower, which I think are fake gears, but still. And it's not full screen as well.
That wasn't full throttle. That was like quarter throttle. Okay.
As you can see, it's pretty close to the size of my phone screen. I'm sick of this guy already. So I did program some my buttons. This is my up volume now. This is my down volume. And this skips my track. And this mutes. So those are the only 4 buttons that I can use. This one, it reads it, but it won't let me program this one for some reason. Anyways, if you're interested in this radio, there'll be a link in the description. Hopefully they give me a discount code. I don't think it's a very expensive radio. So at this price point, it's somewhat nice, okay? So, I mean, it hasn't restarted on me again, but I guess time will tell. So if you guys are interested in this, leave it down in the description, okay? They send them to me for free, so I can't, I'm going to be honest with you, but I can't sit here and say that I hate it. I like it in here, but it might upgrade in here at some point. So if you like this video, smash that like button, consider subscribing. Hit that dislike button if your mom wants me to program her touch buttons. And we'll see you on the next episode of Unwrecked. Yeah, I'm a beast. Got it to work!